Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahabushai, Bahasham, Rakahak Wadash, Barakatum. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and infinite honors to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahabushai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. And peace and salutations to you sincere Akim out there, pushing this word in truth and sincerity to the four corners of the globe. May you brothers endure until the end. This is the brother Ra'aya with another video. And in this video, I'll be profiling an article from foxbusiness.com, a so-called reputable mainstream news website. And the title of the article, which was published on February 12th, 2023, Alabama Democrats want to ban employers from forcing workers to get, and what's that word? I'll highlight it. C-HIPT. Bill would prohibit state agencies, private businesses, insurance providers, bail bondsmen from requiring C-HIPs. Hey, you got a picture of it right there. The charagma, the M-A-R-K-O-F-T-H-E-B-E-A-S-T in Revelation chapter 13, verses 16 to 18. Hey, with each passing day, it's becoming more evident where the spirit of Yahweh Bahasham Yahabushai is dwelling at GMS or Great Millstone, as well as the brothers that come in the spirit of GMS who are preaching the doctrine of Yahweh Bahasham Yahabushai, which includes correctly breaking down what the charagma in Revelation chapter 13, verses 16 to 18 is, which of course is the M-I-C-R-O-C-H-I-P-I-M-P-L-A-N-T. Hey, we're coming into June again, but even last June, they were talking about C-hip implants. So, you false prophets out there, and you false teachers, you wolves in sheep's clothing are just further getting shown for the Judas goats that you are, leading Israel astray. And hey, with information like this continuing to come out in mainstream news outlets, that just lets us know that mandatory implementation is right around the corner. And hey, prophecy will be fulfilled. No Republicans or Democrats or anybody will be able to avert biblical prophecy, especially this major one we're waiting for from coming to its fulfillment. But before we get into this article, let's get into some precepts to show that fact. This is Revelation chapter 13, verses 16, and I'm going to read 17. And he causeth all, that he being the elite rulers of the planet right now, who are of the nation of Esau, Edom, or these so-called white people, such as the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the DuPonts, the Gettys, the Massimos, the Carnegies, the Cargiles, the Aldriches, etc., both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, people from all walks of life and society to receive a charagma, that's C to the H to the I to the P, I-M-P-L-A-N-T, in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, get a job, travel abroad, do anything in society when the charagma is mandatorily implemented, save he that had the charagma or the name of the B-E-A-S-T or the number of his name. Now let's go to a few different translations of Revelation chapter 13, verse 16. And this is on BibleHub.com. And I'm going to start off with the New International Version. It also forced all people, great and small, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a charagma on their right hands or in their foreheads. Forced all people. The New Living Translation, he required everyone. By what? By law, for instance, because when it's mandatorily implemented, of course, it's going to be in law that everybody receive this charagma or they get excommunicated from society, small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, to be given a charagma on their right hand or on their forehead. Let's go to a really good one, the contemporary English version. All people were forced to put a charagma on their right hand or forehead, whether they were powerful or weak, rich or poor, free people or slaves. One more, the Good News Translation. The beast forced all the people, small and great, rich and poor, slave and free, to have a charagma placed on their right hands or on their foreheads. Point blank, period. So, Alabama Democrats trying to ban employers from forcing workers to get a C-HIP is a futile effort. You know, they may be able to so-called slow things down here or there, but inevitably these elites will force the people in society to either take this charagma or be excommunicated from society. And just to show you that the elites aren't playing, people will be faced with being put to death for not receiving the charagma. Back in Revelation chapter 13, verse 15, and he, that he again being the elites, had power to give life unto the image of the B-E-A-S-T, the image of the B-E-A-S-T being the financial, political, and military aspects of this beast system that we're currently living in. The beast that forced everybody to get that charagma. And this beast system is the last leg of the fourth beast in Daniel chapter 2. Those iron toes mixed with miry clay, the reincarnated Roman Empire, the NATO EU alliance that the US is a part of, and who are the ultimate rulers of this system. These elites out here. All these different, politicians, your presidents, prime ministers, heads of state, ultimately rub shoulders with the elites, and they're on board with the agenda. Hence, while you may have a few stragglers here and there trying to hold up progress, what do you see the majority of these politicians pushing for? A digital, cashless society, a climate sensitive society where you will be issued carbon credits to where if you drive and use too much gas, you eat too much meat, you're going to lose your credits. So you'll be banned from doing certain things like that. And since that's going to be tied into a digital cashless system, what's all that going to be tied onto? That charagma. Again, you do anything or you buy beyond your means, hey, they'll just cut off your funds to your CBDCs through your charagma. And also, there will be a social credit score system implemented like in China, to where if you speak against the system, your score will go down, and that's just going to further block you from using your CBDCs through your charagma. And like I've been saying, ultimately, it's going to get so severe out here to where people will be faced with, as it's about to say, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak, and that charagma is a major aspect of the image of the B-E-A-S-T, should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the B-E-A-S-T should be killed, point blank, period, X'd out of society, and then ultimately being faced with being put to death. And like I said at the beginning of this video, this article was published on February 12th of 2023. And Apostle Tahar has deemed 2023 to be the hopeful year that all prophecies come to their fulfillment. And Abaratazah, this is the year that all prophecies, especially the mandatory implementation of the charagma, come to its fulfillment. But whether it's this year or not, hey, when we see information like this come out, especially on mainstream news networks like Fox News, that just lets us know that our salvation is nearer than when we believed. But now I'm just going to get a few more precepts before we get into the article, just to show how futile this effort is for anybody to try to stop biblical prophecy from coming to its fulfillment. This is Isaiah 55, verse 11. So shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. And who's the mouth of the Most High? The men of the Lord, the prophets of the Most High, out on the highways and byways pushing this word, as well as putting up video epistles like this online. And again, we can clearly see that Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai is dealing with the men, beginning with the apostles and elders of GMS or Great Millstone, who have been saying that the charagma was the C-hip implant, and that there would come a time in society to where this thing would be rolled out and then eventually mandatorily implemented. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it. It shall not return unto me void. Nothing will happen to stop this biblical prophecy from coming to its fulfillment. This is Isaiah 34, verse 16. Seek ye out of the book of Yahweh. The book of Yahweh, of course, being the scriptures, which people know as the Bible, the Old and the New Testament, as well as the Apocrypha, which is a part of the Old Testament, and read, no one of these shall fail, no one of these prophecies shall fail. He causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a charagma in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that they may neither buy nor sell, save he that had the charagma. None shall want her mate. There is no other book, philosophy, so-called scientific idea, or anything out there that can compare to the scriptures. If you want to know 100%, well, 144% truth of what happened in the past, what's happening currently, and what's about to happen, seek ye out of the book of the Lord. For my mouth it hath commanded, and his spirit it hath gathered them. For my mouth it hath commanded that all these things shall come to pass. This is Proverbs chapter 21, verse 1. The king's heart or mind or lahab is in the hand of Yahweh. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. So again, you may have so-called naysayers out here, people trying to hold up prophecy, but ultimately everything is through the will of the Most High. And contrary to popular belief, there is no such thing as free will. The Most High is in control of everything. He's the director of this movie called Life, and he's going to get all his actors to fulfill their roles in the script, which includes these elites pushing for the mandatory implementation of this charagma, to where people won't be able to do anything in society without it and will be faced with being put to death for not taking it. But without further ado, let's get into this article. Alabama Democrats want to make it illegal for public and private employers in the state to force their employees to get C-hipped. A bill pre-filed for the state legislature's upcoming session would make it a felony for state agencies, private businesses, insurance providers, or bail bondsmen in the state to require employees to be implanted with a C-hip as a condition of employment or services. Again, all people were forced to put a charagma on their right hand or on their forehead, whether they were powerful or weak, rich or poor, free people or slaves. All these mega corporations and businesses out here, hey, they're on board with the agenda as well. And once this cashless digital society is rolled out, these smaller businesses and medium-sized businesses, if they want to compete and continue, are going to have no other choice but to completely move over to that digital system, to where everybody, employers and employees included, are going to need that charagma. Fiat currency, physical currency, paper money or coins is going to be a thing of a past once this system is fully implemented. The bill, and this is already, I don't really need to read this, but I'm gonna just read it for just the sake of things. The bill defines a C-hip as a device subcutaneously implanted in an individual that is passively or actively capable of transmitting personal information to another device using radio frequency technology. Hey, I wasn't even gonna get this, but the spirit wants it to come out. Let's go to that word charagma in the Strongs. G5480, haragma, a stamp, an imprinted mark, of the charagma stamped on the forehead or the right hand as the badge of the followers of the so-called Antichrist or anti-Hamashiachim. And really, there is no singular person that's the Antichrist with 666 behind his ears, and he's walking around with a briefcase and a business suit. The so-called Antichrist is just a spirit out here that is and anybody who's against the scriptures can be considered a so-called Antichrist. And these elites in this system they're pushing is definitely an Antichrist or anti-Hamashiach system compared to the scriptures and the ways of Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai. A thing carved, sculpture, graven work. So we see that this is a physical object, a physical thing. It's not a spiritual thing. It's not an embargo on Christianity, and it's not sleeping with white women or not holding the Sabbath on Sunday. Let's go to the Strong's definition. Haragma, from the same as G 5482, a scratch or etching. And how did they get that haragma in your skin? They scratch or etch into it with that syringe. The bill defines a C-hip as a device subcutaneously scratched or etched, implanted in an individual that is passively or actively capable of transmitting personal information, such as what? Your banking information to buy and sell, your biometric information, your health information to show that you're up to date with your drinks, which up in Sweden right now, they're putting the C019 drink information on their charagmas. But let's go back and go to G5482, which is hadex, a pail or stake. And what does that haragma look like? It looks like, let's just get it. They got an image of it. It looks like a little stake, a little pail. Pails between which earth, stones, trees, and timbers are heaped and packed together. And when somebody stakes a piece of wood into the earth, what does that mean? They say that this is my property. This is my territory that I own. And to you people out there that receive that haragma, that's the elites staking their claim over you. In the Strong's definition, from harasso, sharp to sharpen to a point, akin to G1125, through the idea of scratching or etching, implanting that haragma into your skin. Now here's the kicker right here. This is Strong's 1125, grafo, to write with reference to the form of the letters, to write with reference to the contents of writing. Now pay attention to this one in number B, to commit to writing, things not to be forgotten, write down, record, such as what? The bill defines a charagma as a device subcutaneously etched in an individual that is passively or actively capable of transmitting personal information, your grafo, things written down, recorded, not to be forgotten. Again, your banking information, biometrics, everything. The bill is sponsored by Alabama State Representative Prince Chestnut and co-sponsored by House Minority Leader Anthony Daniels and State Representative Kelvin Lawrence, all Democrats. We have to be careful as a society and take our time to consider the ethical and constitutional implications of technology, Chestnut told Alabama Daily News. Individual liberty and freedom of movement should always remain sacrosanct. Your right to work should not result in your employer being able to trace your steps and place you under a constant state of 24-hour a day, 7-day-a-week surveillance. But hey, remember, he causeth all, he forceth all to receive that charagma, that they may neither buy nor sell, get a job, travel abroad, do anything unless they have it. And like I said earlier in the video, there will be a social credit score and carbon credits tied to this system, to where if you say anything against the system, you go beyond your means in purchases, you buy illegal goods or anything like that, hey, they can shut down your funds, your CBDCs on your Charagma. Chestnut said he wasn't aware of any Alabama companies that have tried to require Charagmas, but he got the idea after reading about a company in Wisconsin that offered the devices for employees. That was a couple of years ago. So this thing has been slowly but surely eking its way into the mainstream. And it's only going to continue to do so as we get closer and closer to the end. I was like, well, that doesn't seem like a good thing to do. Next, folks are probably going to be requiring folks to get a Charagma just to work, that they may neither buy nor sell, he told Alabama political reporter. If passed, Alabama would join a handful of other states, including Nevada and Missouri, that have prohibited employers from mandating Charagmas for employees. Other states like California have banned any individual from requiring another to get Charagma. But remember, so shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please. And the king's heart or mind is in the hand of the Lord. He moveth it whithersoever he will. No matter what happens out here, no matter what opinions people may have or what bills they may try to pass, biblical prophecy will come to its fulfillment. And biblical prophecy calls for these elites forcing this onto a society, to where people will be faced with being excommunicated from society for not getting it, and ultimately being put to death for not getting it. So that's it with this video. With this video, I hope you sincere Akim and Akwath were edified. Just keep strong. As we can clearly see, we're almost out of this final wicked captivity of the heathen nations, chiefly of the Edomites. And as always, I'm going to say Abad Babal, Kwam Yasharallah, and until next time, Shalom.